All right, we are live. I am the Pit Messiah, your host for the Quiet Storm live trading session for June the 25th, 2025. I'm going to get started here shortly. Just got to get a few tabs open. All right, let's get started here. So, first things first, pretty quiet to start the evening. We did have a take profit that hit from last night right before the session started. This was at 12:23 a.m. This is LA versus Tether. LA versus Tether. I want to say this is the 9th or 10th call that we called last night. Let's go ahead and get this out. One moment here. LA USDT. Just gotta find it. And this was for 448 pips, I believe. LA USDT. So there's a take profit smashed was LA USDT from last night. Try something. I don't know if it'll let me do this or not. Nah, it doesn't work like that. That's cool. Not a problem. All right, so that was LA versus USDT, 448 pips. We called that on the last live yesterday in the morning. I'll just kind of share what I'm doing here. So there are two groups that I call for. There's my own group, Project Genesis. So I'm recording signals and telling everyone in live time, hey, this is the trade that we called. This is LA versus USDT that hit for 448 pips. And then there's the call that I call for my mentor, Patrick Kenny's group. Same thing, just to let them know what's going on. So We, of course, need to record this. It's going to be win 506. $9,162 pips. For 57.96%. So that's where we are as of right now. 506 wins, 367 losses, for a win percentage of 57.96%, and 1,549,162 pips won to date. And that is since May the 2nd when I started trading for the year. I was sick before then, so really didn't trade at all. All right, we had a signal that was called at 1:30. This is a buy on Kava, Kava versus Tether. Taking a look, this is not a trade that we would call. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to briefly explain what it is that we do. The trading tool that I use is based off of a strategy called DeLorean. And that strategy is based off of exponential moving averages. An exponential moving average is a graphical representation of the average of a certain number of past candles. So these are the squiggly little colored lines that you see on my chart. Looking a little bit further, you have the 5 exponential moving average, the yellow line, and the 13 exponential moving average, the red line. On any time frame on any asset, if the red line, the 13 exponential moving average, is over the yellow line, the 5 exponential moving average, that means that the sellers have control of that particular asset in the market on that time frame. Conversely, if the yellow line, the 5 exponential moving average, is over the 13 exponential moving average, the red line, that means the buyers have control of the market. So keep that in mind. This is calling a buy, but the sellers have control of the asset. In addition to that, you can read what is an uptrend or a downtrend using this strategy with the aqua line, which is the 50 exponential moving average, the gray line, which is the 200 exponential moving average, and the blue line, which is the 800 exponential moving average. So to determine if there's an uptrend, you need the aqua line, the 50 exponential moving average on the top, the gray line, the 200 exponential moving average in the middle, and the blue line, the 800 exponential moving average on the bottom. And conversely, to determine a downtrend, you need the 800 exponential moving average, the blue line on the top, the 200 exponential moving average, the gray line in the middle, and the 50 exponential moving average, the aqua line on the bottom. But what we observe on this chart is you have the gray line on the top, the blue line in the middle, the aqua in the middle, and the blue line on the bottom. So that's not an uptrend or a downtrend. That means that the market is in consolidation. So putting all that together, we're looking at Kava versus Tether. It's called a buy. We have the sellers in control of the market, and the asset is in consolidation. This is absolutely not a trade that you would take. So this is an instance where we would ignore what the system is telling us to do and simply wait for the next opportunity. Now, my alerts are set to go on the 15-minute time frame, the 30-minute time frame, the 1 hour time frame, the 4 hour time frame, and the daily. So we can expect that there will be opportunities to enter the market, or possible opportunities to enter the market, about once every 15 minutes or so. It is 2:11 in the morning, Central Standard Time, which means we've already passed up 2 a.m. to start the session. No signals were called. And we will have our next ticker at 2:15 Central Standard Time in about 3 minutes. And we'll see whether or not there's any other opportunities to enter the market. But as of right now, everything's quiet so far this morning. And we'll see what we end up getting. So let's go to our list and clear off LA USDT. That's no longer an active trade. That is done. Go ahead and drop the list into the chat of the active trades that we do have open. Here's a list to those things on TradingView so that you can kind of keep abreast of it. It's what I'm tracking. I'm also going to drop you a list of all the assets that we actually do trade so you can kind of get an idea of the sheer breadth of what it is that we're attempting to do. All right, so about 1 minute and 40 seconds, just under 2 minutes before 2:15 in the morning. And we'll see whether or not we have any additional opportunities to enter the market. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop those in the live chat. I'll get those addressed as soon as I get them, to the extent that we're not evaluating a trade in the market. And let's be patient tonight, and we'll execute as usual. One minute left to go. All right, here we go, 2:15. What you're seeing is TradingView, best trading platform on the planet right now. And I use it to track trades and set alerts. We do have an alert that just popped on Norwegian krone versus Swedish krone. That is an exotic foreign currency, and it is a sell. Let's take a look at that. There are a little over 400 assets that we do trade, so it does take TradingView about 2-3 minutes to get through the 15-minute sweep. Let's see what we got here. All right, we definitely have blue on the top, gray in the middle, and aqua on the bottom. This is a downtrend. We have the 13 EMA over the 5 EMA, so the sellers have control of the market. This is absolutely a valid sell opportunity. And we're going to sell to 0.93810. $9,381. Tighten up the stop loss a little bit. And there's going to be our trade. All right. Let me grab my templates here. This is an exotic. NOK, SEK on a 15-minute confirmation. Market execution sell. Risk to reward ratio of 2.23. Take profit at 0.9381. And that is for 27 pips. Take profit at 0.94198. And that is for 12 pips. And entry price at 0.94078. And here's going to be your first call of the night. Norwegian krone versus Swedish krona. 15-minute confirmation. Market execution sell. Entry price is 0.94078. Stop loss is 0.94198 for 12 pips. Take profit is 0.93810 for 27 pips with a risk to reward ratio of 2.23. All right, let's go ahead and get this added to our queue. Okay, SEK. Move this bad boy up to the exotics. That's now in alphabetical order. So our next ticker is at 10 minutes and 20 seconds left to go to 2:30 in the morning. And we'll see whether or not we get any additional opportunities to enter the market. But this is a solid sell opportunity on Norwegian krone versus Swedish krona. Pretty obscure exotic, but a win is a win. The session from last night finished processing on YouTube around a few hours ago. So I'm going to premiere that tomorrow morning on the channel at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And then tonight's live will be available same day. It's like a 1 day lag at 10 a.m. the next day before it's posted. That gives me time to prepare the thumbnails and edit the video and get everything up and running. So I'm getting better and better at that. In terms of kind of activity, around 3:15 Central Standard Time to 3:45 Central Standard Time in the morning is normally when you see most of the action in the market. There also seems to be another little kind of sweep of action starting at about 4 a.m. Central Standard Time and then slowing down around 5:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. And then the market tends to quiet down until just before the opening bell for the New York session, which is at 7:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. So we're only going to go to 4 a.m. Central Standard Time. Then I'm going to go ahead and give myself some rest. I'll be back up to take a look at the market just before the New York trading session. May have some additional calls to take. So if you do want to follow the other calls that are not on the live, if you click on my profile, the very first link that you can click is for Telegram. That's the link to Project Genesis, which is my group where I'm calling all these signals in live time, regardless of whether they're on the live or not. Also, if you do happen to find value in what it is that we're doing here, I do encourage you to subscribe to the channel, to like the video, and to turn on all notifications so you can keep abreast of when I do go live at market. The Quiet Storm live trading sessions are done every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 2 a.m. Central Standard Time. So if you have access to some type of tool, whether it be a calendar on your phone, or whether it be something like Google Calendar, which is what I use to kind of do my schedule for the day, go ahead and set that so you can be ready to come to the live and profit alongside me. One of the reasons I do this is because I was kind of inspired to kind of provide the same type of support that I received when I first started trading. My two mentors in the market, Tyrone and Patrick, very strong traders with very different strengths. And one of the goals that I had when I first started trading was I wanted to be an effective signal caller. My specific goal is I wanted to be the best signal call trader on the planet. I wouldn't make the claim to be that, but I'm pretty good and I'm consistent. So that's kind of the energy that we're on tonight. I believe we even made a call on Palladium and Platinum last night. Last time I looked at them, they were both in profit. So this is Palladium. We made that call at, actually this was just after the live. This is 7:30 in the morning and it's in profit. If you know anything about precious metals, you know that's difficult to be consistent on. And then we also made a call on platinum, which is very volatile. We made that call at 8:45 in the morning. And it's also in profit. In fact, it's about 2/3 of the way to take profit. We also have another trader we've been in. This is SPX 500, and it's close to profit. I don't know if we'll get enough volume for it to hit during the session tonight, but shortly after the opening bell in New York, I do expect this to hit take profit. That's going to come off the board. And that's for 19,611 pips. We've been in SPX 500 since June the 19th in solid profit most of the way. So for those of you that have taken that trade and stayed in it, you should be very heavy into profit, and congratulations for being patient. Sometimes these things take time. So this is one of the signal calls that we rejected from last night. This is Solana versus Tether. The reason we did not get in the trade that was called is because it's in consolidation. At the time the trade was called, the gray is on the bottom, the aqua's in the middle, the blue's on the top. That's just not something we want to get in. And just as expected, not only is it in consolidation, but also marks that the trade could go a little bit higher, because at the time the trade was called, the aqua was over the gray on a sell call. And what happened? It stayed in consolidation and then took off on us. So this is a very good call to take this particular trade. Just because it's there doesn't mean that you have to be in it. That's the type of patience and analysis that you're going to need to have in the market to keep yourself from getting trapped. About a minute and a half to 2:30 in the morning, and we'll see whether or not we have some additional opportunities to get into the market. Bitcoin is still jumping. For those of you that have been with me a little bit longer, we've been tracking on Bitcoin for quite some time now. To give you some idea of scope, we started in on Bitcoin on June the 16th. We've caught it at 104,200. We caught it at 100,400. And we caught it at 97,000. Well, 97,000 will be the next one. So it dropped below 100,400 and then took off on us. But as you can see, you still have the blue on the top. Actually, this is a 2-hour. It's in consolidation right now. You've got the aqua on the top. The gray on the top, the aqua in the middle, and the blue on the bottom. I don't think this is going to keep going up. We still have a lower high. I think this is going to retrace and continue down further. And we'll see what we end up getting. So we'll keep our eye on platinum versus USDT. Again, this was a signal that we called from last night. I do believe there's an outside chance of us getting take profit on this tonight. But we shall see. Wonder how these are doing. This is Euro versus. This is gold versus Euro. It's being stubborn. Here's our take profit up here. It'll get there eventually, but we're still riding that one out. And this is silver. We got into this trade on June the 24th. It's in profit. It's kind of flat right now. It's about a quarter of the way there. So we're just going to ride that one out. Silver is kind of volatile in terms of precious metals. So it does tend to jump a little bit. When you see consolidation like this, that's uncertainty in the market. And certainly with the situation in Ukraine and Russia, and there's the situation between Iran and Israel, you do have some geopolitical kind of upheaval. That's causing some trepidation and uncertainty in the market. All right, so 2:32 in the morning. No signal calls came out for the 2:30 time frame. Our next ticker is going to be at 2:45 in the morning, in which case we'll see whether or not we have any additional opportunities to enter the market. So, very quiet start this morning, as opposed to the rest of the week that's been a little bit hectic. We'll see where we end up. Bro, would you call the regular pairs at least? Well, if the regular pairs actually gave us opportunities, yes. I can't just manufacture things. So I don't enter the market blind at all. Now, we did have regular call pairs last night, several of them, in fact. So if we go and we take a look at that, we called Euro versus New Zealand dollar. We called Euro versus Australian dollar. We called New Zealand dollar versus Swiss franc. We called Australian dollar versus Swiss franc. We called Swiss franc versus Japanese yen. We called Great British pound versus New Zealand dollar. And we called Great British pound versus Australian dollar. So we had plenty of regular, schmegular Forex pairs that we called. As a matter of fact, some of those hit take profit. This is Swiss franc versus Japanese yen, which literally went straight to profit for 80 pips. We have New Zealand dollar versus Swiss franc, which literally went straight to profit for 41 pips. If you were in the indices, we had NASDAQ 100, which hit take profit for 75,235 pips. So there's been opportunities for that. Going back to the other calls that we did call. Let's see. Euro versus New Zealand dollar. That's slightly in stop loss territory, but it's still an open trade. We have Euro odd, same thing. We have GBP odd, which is in profit. We have GBP NZD, which is in profit. So those were the regular Forex pairs that we called last night. Of the ones that are still open, 2 are in stop loss territory and 2 are in profit. So it happens when it happens. The market's always right. Generally, if it's quiet on green signals, it's because the market's in consolidation. So the market doesn't like uncertainty. Certainly, when you have instances where you have war or geopolitical upheaval or major news or things of that nature, there's not much you can do. Now, if I had some type of magic wand I could wave to make the market give us more trade opportunities and the type of signals that we wanted, I would do that. But I don't have that power at all. Kind of stuck with what we're stuck with. But I am glad that you did profit on the trades that we did call. That is the goal. A little over 7 minutes left to go to 2:45 in the morning. Waiting for some type of action tonight. Again, it's been very quiet in the market. Not a peep out of any asset. So we'll see. Normally by this time we have something, but nothing's happened. Guess I'm a little sleepier than usual tonight. Made the mistake of not getting in bed when I should have, so it makes a difference. Stayed up till about 11:06. Normally in bed around 9 to be prepared for the lives. So suffice it to say, parting all the yawning, I can't help it. Tired. So exotics are taking their sweet time. About 4 minutes and 30 some odd seconds to go. Hmm. Coming up on 3 minutes left to go to 2:45 in the morning, in which case we'll get some possible opportunities to enter the market. Has been dreadfully quiet this morning. Not a single call, at least not during the session. Did have one that we looked at from 1:34 in the morning on Kava versus Tether. It's not a valid trade, so we did not enter it. Again, for buys, we're looking for the yellow line over the red line. That's the 5 exponential moving average over the 13 moving exponential moving average. We're also looking for an uptrend, which is the 50 exponential moving average, the aqua, over the 200 exponential moving average, which is the gray, which is over the 800 exponential moving average, which is the blue. Conversely, on sales, we're looking for the 13 EMA over the 5 EMA, the red over the yellow. And we're looking for the blue on the top, the gray in the middle, and the aqua on the bottom. I just had a complete brain fart. That's how I know I'm tired. Let me restate that. For buys, we're looking for the aqua on the top, the gray in the middle, and the blue on the bottom, with the yellow over the red. And then for sells, we're looking for the blue on the top, the gray in the middle, and the aqua on the bottom, with the red over the yellow. So sellers or buyers in control of the market with the trend. Any other combination of those things is consolidation, and we do not enter those trades. Doesn't mean that sometimes the trade is called a consolidation, it doesn't go to take profit, but there's a higher probability that it won't get there. You don't want to get yourself into bad trades. I got about 30 seconds left at 2:45 in the morning. We'll see whether or not we have any other opportunities to enter the market. Again, trading view is going to take about 2 to 3 minutes to evaluate all the different assets that we do trade. I want to say there's 417 different assets that we do trade. Takes a while to get through those. Sometimes it's instant, sometimes it's not. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Still a little quiet so far. Should know whether or not we're getting something for 2:45 a.m. in the next few minutes or so. In the meantime, the next time frame is at 3 a.m. in the morning Central Standard Time. for any additional opportunities to enter the market, buy or sell. Mhm. Little under 11 minutes left to go to the top of the hour. About 8 minutes left to go. A little under 6 minutes left to go. A little over 4 minutes left to go. 3 minutes. Two minutes. One minute. $30. 15 seconds. All right, it's now 3 a.m. in the morning. Let's see what TradingView gives us. Feels like it's going to stay quiet again. And the next mark is going to be at 3:15 in the morning in about 13 and a half minutes. Every now and again, you have mornings like this when nothing really gets to popping off. But it's rare that you get nothing. And the market is moving. I can see the different assets going up and down, but nothing enough to call this clear buy. Okay, so we've got an alert on Norwegian krone, Swedish krone, which is the only call that we called tonight. And that hit stop loss. So we're going to re-enter that to 0.9381. All right, so it's not going to be a 3.36 with the reward ratio for 40 pips. Again, targeting 0.9381. Stop loss is going to be 0.94333. Going to stay at 12 pips. Entry price is 0.94213. And here's your new signal on Norwegian krone versus Swedish krona. 15-minute confirmation, market execution sell. Entry price at 0.94213. Stop loss at 0.94333 for 12 pips. Take profit again is a 0.93810 for 40 pips with a risk to reward ratio of 3.36. Been a very quiet morning. Next mark is at 3:15 in the morning, which is a little under 11 minutes from now. 10 minutes now. And we'll see whether or not we get any additional opportunities to enter the market. I am the Pip Messiah. You're watching a Quiet Storm live trading session for June the 25th, 2025. If you do find value in what we're doing tonight, I do encourage you to subscribe to the channel, to click the like button, and to turn on those notifications to keep abreast of when I do go live in the market. The Quiet Storm is held every weekday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 2 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's the opening bell for the London session, which is where a lot of the volatility in the market starts to enter all the different assets. We do tend to trade a lot of different assets. I use a color-coded system. So for your Forex currency pairs that are major and minor, it's going to be green. For your Forex currency pairs, which are exotic, they're going to be yellow. For your spot cryptocurrencies, those are going to be blue. That's your cryptocurrencies versus the US dollar. For all of your indices, precious metals, oil, and natural gas, it's going to be red. For perpetual cryptocurrencies, that's cryptocurrencies versus Tether. And for any stocks, those are purple. And for futures, those are orange. And this is also organized in order of the risk involved. Obviously, futures are more risky than anything else, whereas regular currency pairs are less risky. So keep that in mind. We do have to tag the fact that we did have a hit stop loss on Norwegian krone versus Swedish krona earlier tonight. This gets us down to 57.89% win rate for 1,549,162 pips, and that is since May the 2nd of this year. We did clear 1 million pips last month. It does not appear like we're going to clear another 1 million pips this month, but to clear over 500K in a month is crazy work. So now we wait. If you have any questions, I do encourage you to go ahead and drop those into the live chat. Go ahead and get those answered. We certainly have time since it's been so quiet this evening in terms of trading. But suffice it to say, the market's always right. And you do have mornings like this where it is quiet. And quiet is fine. You want to avoid the compulsion of simply jumping into the market blind or simply always wanting to be in the market for the sake of doing it. You only want to enter the market when you have clear buy and sell opportunities and you have higher probabilities to hit take profit. That's the entire goal, to compound your account. If you're a new trader or if you have a small trading account, that is your sole goal in life. Compound your account. That's going to give you extra equity to trade with. So even if you don't have that 100% ironclad confidence that things are going to hit take profit, if you have breathing room in your account and you have some type of drawback where your account doesn't have any hope at all of blowing and you can stay in the trade, that's going to be helpful for you. And eventually you're going to get enough repetitions where you're winning consistently enough where you stop worrying about whether or not you're going to lose your money. The trick is you don't want to get over leveraged and you want to have proper trade management. Obviously, if you have a small account, by which I mean, say, under $10,000 or so, we kind of maybe want to avoid the higher risk trades, which do take more margin. So you obviously would not want to be in metals or indices or oil or natural gas or futures or stocks. But a good opportunity for you may be regular Forex pairs, whether they're major or minor, or exotic currencies. They don't move as quickly or as volatile as other assets, but they do give you consistent profit. So a little over 3.5 minutes left to go until the quarter of the hour at 3:15 a.m. Trying to remember the trade we were looking at earlier. I believe it was platinum that we called last night. It has drawn back a little bit over the last 30 minutes or so, but it's still over 50% of the way in the profit. If you know anything about precious metals, Platinum and palladium, which we called last night, are more heavily weighted than silver and gold. So if you took this trade and you're in it, you're massively in profit. Even at 0.01 with the lowest leverage I can think of on platinum, you're probably several $100s into profit right now. That trade is going for 65,667 pips. About 2 minutes left to go. We do have further retracement of platinum. It appears to have fallen below the bottom of the Asian range from earlier tonight, which is interesting. At some point, I expected to kind of crest and establish a bottom and then retrace to the buy side. I don't think this sell off is going to hold. About 1 minute left. Thirty seconds. $15 seconds. Again, trading view is going to take about 2 to 3 minutes to go through all the assets we do trade. There are 417 of them across different asset classes. So sometimes the calls are immediate. Sometimes it does take a little bit of time. And here we go. All right. So nothing for 3:15 in the morning. Next market is going to be at 3:30 a.m. in just under 12 minutes. Carrie, what PCAS settings are you using to call trades? So I use the default settings, and the only thing that I changed is the RSI, and the RSI settings are at 75 and 25. The reason why I don't use default at 70 and 30 is because you get a lot of inaccurate calls. So you do get more signals with the default settings, but there's also a lot of junk. Using 75, 85 tends to clear out a lot of the noise. Um, Really, probably the best setup is at 80/20, but you just don't get enough calls to justify it. So 75/25 is kind of that sweet zone, for me at least. And what's happened is Shriva staff. You're very welcome, Carrie. So obviously we're still waiting for the next time frame. It's going to pop off at 3:30 in the morning, a little under 8 minutes from now. It has been an incredibly quiet evening. We have one signal that we've called tonight that was on Norwegian krone versus Swedish krona. The original signal hit take profit. We re-entered. It's just a very strong downtrend on that particular asset for 40 pips. So very quiet. Hmm. All right, about 5 minutes left to go. We've got markers at 3:30 a.m., 3:45 a.m., and 4 a.m. before we end the live for the night. Again, if you do want to keep abreast of trades outside of the live trading sections, I do encourage you to click on my profile and click that first link. That's to my Telegram group. It's where I'm calling all the signals, at least for my group, in live time. I do also call signals for my mentors group on Telegram, but he has been very adamant that he would like to um, kind of have his own funnel for people joining that group, so I don't publish the link to that to invite directly. So you want the signals that are outside of the 2 to 4 time frame in the morning. Click the link and join Project Genesis, and you'll get access to that stuff. It's not behind a paywall. I'm giving everything that I take for free. Also, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video. Um, the likes actually drive the algorithm, so it's actually going to push the video out to more people that are interested in trading, which is helpful. The whole point why I'm up doing this for folks is just to help out. I'm nowhere near being monetized on YouTube right now. It's just, I enjoy what I do. But I do want to eventually get there. So, need more subscribers, more engagement. So, if you guys can subscribe to the channel, like the video, turn on the notifications so you can keep abreast of when I do go live in the market, that would be incredibly helpful. I am the Pip Messiah. This is the Quiet Storm live trading session for June the 25th, 2025. The Quiet Storm is held every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 2 a.m. Central Standard Time. And we go for about 2 hours to 4 a.m. Central Standard Time. Um, it does take YouTube a couple of hours to process the videos, and then I've got to do some editing and all the good stuff before I bring the video live. But the premieres for the previous night's live normally happen around 10 a.m. in the morning, Central Standard Time. So if you happen to miss what went on beforehand and you want to take a gander at that, you can always pop into my channel and take a look at some of those older videos. Same process every day, evaluating trades for buy and sell opportunities. Not too high, not too low. Trade a lot of different assets, and we're successful in most cases. All right, we got about 1 minute left at 3:30 in the morning. See whether or not we finally get any opportunities to get into the market other than Norwegian krone versus Swedish krone. 30 seconds. All right, it's now 3:30 in the morning. Again, TradingView is going to take about 2 minutes to go through all the different assets to determine whether or not we have any additional opportunities into the market on a buy or sell. So let's give it a little bit of time to work its mojo, see what we end up with. In the instance that we get nothing at 3:30, next time frame is 3:45 a.m. And that's going to be a little under 14 minutes from now. So it appears like we're going to be quiet again. Again, next ticker for us is at 3:45 a.m. It's about 13 minutes from now. Crazy quiet. I'm surprised. Very surprised, actually. About 11 minutes left. So 3:45 in the morning. A little under 10 minutes left to go to 3:45 in the morning. About 7 minutes left to go to 3:45 in the morning. Oh, about 3 minutes left to go. Mm-hmm. 3, 4, 5, 6. About a half a minute. Okay. Let's see here. Think. About 4 minutes left to 4 o'clock in the morning. It's the last little ticker for the night. Again, I am the Pip Messiah, your host for the Quiet Storm live trading session for June the 25th, 2025. If you found value in what it is that we offer tonight, I do encourage you to drop a like on the video, subscribe, and turn on those notifications to keep abreast of when I am in the market. The Quiet Storm live trading sessions are held every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 2 a.m. Central Standard Time. And I do hope to see you again tomorrow after we evaluate any possible opportunities that may drop at 4 a.m. in about 3 minutes. About 1 minute left. All right, it's now 4 a.m. in the morning. I'll give it a few minutes to see if it gives us anything. Do have acceleration in profit in some of our trades, including Euro versus Australian dollar, which we called yesterday. All right, so that appears to be it for the morning. And we'll see you guys at tomorrow morning at 2 a.m. Cheers.